Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the United Star. Today, we have an absolute banger for you. We've got Vansh, Prayan, Prashant, and Akshit. Today, we are going to talk about one of the most controversial topics of this season. Is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer the man for Man United? Should he still be in the job or should he be out of a job? We have Vansh and Prayan and me who feel that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should still be the Manchester United manager, and we have Prashant and Akshay who think maybe not. I think it's time for us to move on from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So I am going to start off with both of you guys, Prashant and Akshay. Prashant,
Mhm.
why do you think that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is not the man for Man United?
First and foremost, thank you, Sid, for giving such a nice introduction about such a controversial topic. Why I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should be the Manchester United manager. I want to see my club win trophies. I want a ruthless man. In short, I want a man enough to stand in the media and then say, you know what, we were bad, and I am taking responsibility for it. I don't want mollycoddling any of those players anymore where someone says that it's okay. I want a man enough manager to stand up for this club now. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is too nice of a manager, for this club currently going through such a bad time. At this point of time, you don't need someone who's such a soft person. I'm not saying that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is not a nice human being. He's a very nice human being, and I love Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as a player. At least in 25 years of watching football, my first jersey was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's jersey, that which was his last season. So I have immense respect for the man, and I don't want his legacy as a player to be tarnished because of his incompetency as a manager. For his good, I think he should leave on his own terms rather than how it all turned up for many other managers at this club.
Fair point. Akshay, why do you think that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is not the man for Man United? Do you agree with Prashant or do you have your own?
Yeah, I do. And Prashant made an excellent point that, his legacy as a player is fantastic. And I don't want it to be ruined by, this his management legacy, my management period. So that is one aspect. And the second thing is, even as he said, Prashant rightly said that you need someone at this club of our stature, you need someone who's ruthless enough to who's gonna pick a fight with the media, who's gonna pick a fight with our players, who's gonna basically not be like pushed around. He's gonna people are gonna respect him. And right now he's not. And apart from that, if you see the whole of his career with us so far, it's always been like chop and start. Like we have go on this good run of results, and then it again goes down. It goes on again, it goes down. But that's the thing that keeps on happening. We can't maintain a level of consistency in terms of performance, in terms of result. There is always like that breakdown period where we have 4 5 like 6 7 games bad by games in a row where we are done. And also one more thing is, if you see last season, we were in two semifinals, and the games which we like which really mattered to us, we kind of bottled those games. The two semifinals, the game yesterday where it really mattered, where he really had to show up, where he really had to take in charge of the team. Those games he's not been able to do it. And I mean, yeah, definitely last season was great with him getting the third spot, but we can't forget the fact that Leicester absolutely bottled it. Like they absolutely bottled their position, and that's how we got in, or else there was no chance we were getting in. So yeah, that's what I would like to start off by saying.
Fair point. Fair point. Now I'll come to the three of us who feel Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should still be in a job. I'll start off with you, Vanj. Vanj, why do you feel that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the man for Man United?
Because all the games he's been blamed for not managing well, all of them we conceded sloppy goals, which were players' faults. It is not something that the manager can control. The manager cannot say you're supposed to be staying on the half line when you're taking corners. That's common sense. There is there is some need for coordination between the centre backs. There needs to be Maguire telling Twanzebe to stay on the half line, or Twanzebe telling Maguire to stay on the half line. There was no coordination between them. That is basic common sense as a centre back. That Istanbul game cost us the match. Then when we lost against PSG, it was basically a wrong red card call. I will not take anything away from the fact that he should have been red carded in the first half, because if you look at the replay, he's not really head bumping him. He's just gliding his head past if you look closely. So, but regardless of that, it was a complete acting job, as you say, by the PSG players to get Fred red carded. It was it took 7 or 8 of them to get him off, and it was Martial's miss. It was two misses from Martial actually. Then I think in the last 10 minutes it was fatigue. Nobody wanted to win it again. And PSG again hit us on the counter. Then against Leipzig, all we had to do was take a draw. So and Leipzig had to win. So Leipzig was playing an assured game. We could try around. We could try different things and maybe end up with a draw or a win. And Ole tried that. Ole tried three at the back. What the mistake here was from Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire, and Van Bissaka and Lindelof. Telles was always going to only attack from the left flank. It was up to Maguire and Shaw to decide who is going to be staying behind when Telles goes in front from the left. Van Bissaka, if you see, he's positioned as a right wing back, but everyone knows his responsibility is to only defend at the moment. In a game where Leipzig can attack from the left with Nkunku and Angelino from the left flank, he was always going either two into Maguire or two into Greenwood on the flank. He was not really ever positioned as a defensive right back at any point in the game, unless we switched to a four at the back. So it was Ole had set them up perfectly, but these players did not do it properly.
Okay, now coming to you, Priyan. Priyan, why are you still Ole in, and why do you think Ole is the man for the job?
Firstly, I just like to come back to what Prashant and Akshit said. I don't think even if Ole loses 20 games in a row right now, I don't think his image will ever be tarnished because we're United fans. We're not a Madrid or a Arsenal or Chelsea. We're the core good fans. Secondly, Prashant and Akshit said that we need a manager who can stick up and shout at the players and fight with the media. We've had that with Mourinho, and we won the Europa League, but I mean we didn't see the results what we wanted. We wanted the league. We wanted good performance in the Champions League. Right? I mean I get we came second, but it's still not what we achieved, and he got sacked at the end. Right? My point is that. In my opinion, Solskjaer has improved the team. Uh, we have a problem with consistency, but he has improved the team from what we were with Oli and with Van Gaal, all of that. Secondly, coming to what Vanch said and elaborating little more on that, I think, I would say that Oli is not the ideal fit. I wouldn't, if I was picking a manager and Oli wasn't I wouldn't have picked Oli for sure. I would have gone to maybe a Poch or an Allegri that time. But the thing is that now we've picked him, and sacking him again and getting in Poch or Allegri or whoever is there, it's, in my opinion, it's just repeating the cycle all over again. We're going to get a manager, support him in the first year, get all the players that we need, uh, get into the Champions League. If we're lucky, maybe even get second place or in the league. Next season, we're not going to, our owners are going to be satisfied. We're not going to push, we're not going to get the signings. It's going to be a process, and I feel sacking Oli will be in continuance with this process. And I believe that sticking with Oli right now is very imperative right now because it will help break this process and it will break this cycle. I'm not saying that Oli is going to perform amazingly well next season if he gets his signings. I'm not vouching for that. I'm just saying he should be given a chance because we've been through this cycle, and we've been through this cycle with managers who have played all over the world, and they're winners. With Mourinho, with Van Gaal, they're one of the best managers in the world, and it hasn't happened. Secondly, like Vanch said, our team, I get the point that we're not consistent, but there's only so much Oli can do. If Martial is going to miss sitters, if defensively we're going to they're going to have brain fades, and just Fred is going to go lunging when he's on a yellow card, and he's had 3-4 fouls, and he's got so lucky with the red card. If your players are going to perform that way, I mean, it's really very unfair to blame the manager completely, and sacking the manager is sort of unfair, in my opinion.
Prashant, you look like you've got something to say about that.
I have a very weird question. So let's say if your team is on relegation zone and the players don't turn up, Does the club sack all the 15, 30 registered players, or does the club sack the manager?
Yeah, it's
If
obviously
you
easier to
are
sack
the
the manager.
manager of a
It's
club,
easier
if you
to.
are the manager of the club, it's your responsibility to stick up, to own it. If the players don't, that's football. That's the football which we have seen. That's how the nature of the game is. If the players don't turn up, you sack the players. You get rid of them. You forget buying or promoting from the youth system or whatever. If the players don't turn up, as a manager, you put them down. You make them sit. That's what managers are about. One said something that if the communication gap between Lindelof and Maguire, whose job is tactics? Player's job? No, it's the manager's job. That's what managers do. Priyan, I just want to ask you a question. You said we are great fans. We don't tarnish the legacy of players once they leave us. Is Paul Scholes a respected pundit? No. Is Roy Keane a respected pundit? No. They are probably two of the cult legends, cult heroes or legends what this club has seen. But they are so diabolical in their opinion. We as fans, how do they treat them? Great footballers, but don't want to listen to their opinions on the social media because they
You
annoy
know,
you.
I
Remember
meant to say
that.
that. I
Yeah.
meant to say that only. I mean, we won't ever forget that Oli has been a phenomenal servant to the club.
But what do we say, right? Great players, but not a great pundit. Will we say the same thing about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? Great footballer, Champions League winner, probably one of the most iconic moments in this club's history. Not a great manager. I don't want that tag associated with that to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer saying that not a great manager. I'm okay to say he's a great legend, great player, super sub, whatever. That's one. Now let me break down one's perspective. Fred's red card in the first half or whatever. Any person with basic footballing sense, at least in my opinion, when you are on a yellow card, when you're threading on thin ice, the safety first approach is what you take. You can call it pragmatic football, you can call it negative football, you can call it defensive football, whatever you want. One of the reasons why Manchester United are not successful in European front is the fact, even during Sir Alex Ferguson, is the fact we are not street smart footballers, or our club is not street smart. European knights call for a defensive work. That is why Jose Mourinho went to Turin and defeated Juventus. We were pragmatic the whole game. We sat down, we let our, we just defended for our lives. And no one complained at that point of time because we knew we are going to get 3 points. That's one of the reasons, or one of the biggest reasons why Sir Alex failed in Champions League multiple times. Compared to his 25 years record at what he had in the Premier League, we could never win in the European stage because we were not smart enough. We went with the same ideology: attack, attack, attack. On a yellow card, keep pushing. Most of the times we got, most of the time we missed our crucial players in the most iconic games. For example, we missed Roy Keane's goals in the Champions League final. Yeah, missed the finals. Same thing happened in the both the finals we lost. We also missed Rafael. Rafael got red card in the Bayern Munich game and we lost the game. It's about being smart. I'm not saying that Sir Alex was dumb. Don't mistake me saying that. I'm saying that United as a club has never had man with someone who's had European experience at that level. And once we had European experience at that level, we as fans couldn't accept it. Now, someone like Jose Mourinho, what has happened? So let's not go to Jose Mourinho. Let me just break down to what Vansh was saying. Manager can only do as much as this, but that's his job. He is supposed to do that. He's supposed to lead down with tactics. Yesterday, we were set up perfectly. I completely agree. Players did not turn up. Agreed. Who's at fault? Not the players. You can't blame the players every now and then. You can blame the players if it's one-off game. You can blame the players if it is 3 games in a season, 4 games in a season. For example, the Spurs versus Chelsea, which happened a couple of years back, where a small riot broke in the game, and then Spurs bottled it or whatever. That point of time, you can blame the players. But if it's happening in a pattern, the blame has to stop somewhere, and the blame always stops at the manager. It's the thumb rule in football. You cannot change it. That's one. And my specific, I'm not going to say Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a great tactician. I don't want to say that he's great in tactics. It's out in the open what his tactics are. We all know it, right? And I don't understand why our fans don't accept it. We are Bruno Fernandes FC. Every team in the world knows it. Right? Every team on planet Earth who plays Man United knows it. Shut down Bruno Fernandes. This team, this 10 men cannot do anything. It's a thumb rule. What happened yesterday? Did we do anything? No. The moment we got the penalty, game changed. Then came Paul Pogba. In 7 minutes of cameo of Paul Pogba, he turned down the game. He turned up the heat in Leipzig. We all know it, right? It's not tactics. My bother is not tactics. I don't need a tactically smart manager. That's one. Second, I was never a huge fan of Pochettino nor Allegri. You were tired of Jose Mourinho's football and you want Massimiliano Allegri to manage Manchester United. Are you kidding me?
It's another Mourinho. Another Mourinho.
I'm just saying that you were
Pragmatic.
tired of, yeah, you were tired of Jose Mourinho. You were tired of his pragmatic football and you want Allegri. Juventus's Allegri will bore you to death, but they will do the job for you. Okay. Now Pochettino. I've vocally said it in multiple forums and I'm going to say it again. In a 2-horse race, if you can come third, you're special. And that's Mauricio Pochettino. He bottled the league in the most, I mean, in a cinematic way, he's bottled that league. What good job has he done at Spurs? Improving the team. Is that a benchmark for you to hire a manager at Manchester United? We hired Sir Alex Ferguson, who was a European Cup winner. People forget that. People say Alex Ferguson didn't do anything in 3 years. Dude, he won a European Cup with Aberdeen. How can you forget that? He beat Real Madrid. We hired a winner, and you can only win if you know how to win. For that, you need a winner. And that's why I say if you are hiring someone, you hire someone who's won it, who knows who knows what it takes to win. See, for example, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer how can he influence his players? I did this in Champions League final, greatest moment in my life. Let's say one of his pep talk is. What apart from that, he'll say super sub mein maine ye karke goal mara. I did this as a player. But how does it take a team to win? A manager who has won it at that level can only explain that. That's why I say you have to go out and hire a winner.
But then who do you hire, Prashant?
Yeah. Can I?
Who's there out?
Sorry.
Sure.
Yeah.
So
if
basically,
I was hiring, right now for me, winning is not utmost importance. Right now, I need a proper base. I need to understand a template of football. For me, I would hire Erik ten Hag of Ajax. I would want him. If you want to build a legacy-based club right now, let's say we are going with, I completely agree with what Priyan said that Ole is getting a template of football. He's trying to set up. You do not need to change process, etc., etc. If I want to make a template of football, I would hire Julian Nagelsmann or Erik ten Hag, where a template of football is set. Right now, we don't have a template. What is our template? Counter-attack. Someone gives us space, someone presses us, we are going to get spaces, we'll counter-attack, we'll score. We'll get 5 chances, we'll score 1, we'll get 1 penalty. That's our modus operandi. Everyone knows it. Why are we defeating City continuously? Because they give us space. Pep Guardiola hasn't learnt it. In 3 times of playing Man United, Pep Guardiola hasn't learned the simple fact that you press this Man United team, you give them space in the wings, they will hunt you. Why did we beat Lampard in the league? He pressed us to death. What did Julian Nagelsmann do yesterday? He said they will score only if they get the ball, right? I will not give them the ball. I will press them, make them lose the ball, and then I will play the ball in my own half. Whenever I want to attack, I will attack. What did Man United do? Man United did not know what to do.
can I talk? Okay, so basically, couple of points I wanted to mention. So you mentioned Fred, right? That Fred made that stupid. The 10th minute, we all knew Fred's head was gone on the field with the referee, with the players. Plus, he also had that one incident where he got really lucky, where he made the tackle and the other player got the card. And still there were more fouls in that half, where and what happened. So, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
So basically, if we as fans can see that Fred's head is gone, next foul he makes in the second half is going to get a red card. Why can't he see it? That was the basic. You can blame Fred how much ever you want, but the simple fact of the matter is he should not have come out of the pitch in the second half, no matter what. And it's not like we don't have players. We have a lot of midfielders. He could have done that. Second point I want to make is, in this season, I can barely mention 4-3 where we have started well. Each and every single game, we have started poorly. And I don't know why can't you see it? Each and every single game we go down and we come back because of our ability of our players. We are able to come back. And this game was not your Southampton, your West Ham's, where we could just bounce back from a 2-0 game. So that is where he got showed up this time, because the opposition we were facing was if not better, but a very equal match to us in terms of quality. So that is where your great managers know that if you are seeing it, you can see it that it's not 1 game, 2 game. It's been 8 or 9 games. We have been starting poorly. Every single game we have been from stupid defensive mistakes.
Mm.
This
Just to add
has been
to
happening
what
for
Akshit
10 games,
was
and
saying,
it's
just to
utterly baffles me that how he
mm.
can't see.
So to just add to Akshit's point, right? Leipzig got spanked by us final at Old Trafford. Remember?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We all saw what happened
Yeah.
because Leipzig were hell bent on attacking us. They did the same mistake as Guardiola's City does. They tried to press us, we hit them. What did Nagelsmann do yesterday? He just did not give us space.
Hmm.
Now that's what you call as learning from your mistakes. Has Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in 1 year, 18 months of management learned from his mistakes? Has he improved his substitution timings? No. Do we have a template of playing football? No. Do we have a proper 11, a 11 which we say this is our best 11 all the time? So, for example, if you look at City or Chelsea or I'm not talking Arsenal anyways, relegated club. If you talk about clubs, they have a proper 11. You know what's their 11. Do we have a proper 11? We don't. We have a proper 4 centre back, proper 4 defense because one of them is not there and he made his comeback yesterday. Or else we didn't even know that. We don't know what our best 11 is. And how are you expecting that if you don't know your proper 11, how are you expecting this guy to go out and win trophies? Right? That's what I want to say.
I completely agree with your point. And I said that before. Ole is not, tactically or that way the perfect manager to have at United, at a club like United. Even before, he's not really achieved anything with even the club he was at before. My only point is that you can get in whoever you want right now, but there's nothing to show you right now that the cycle is not going to repeat. So,
Agreed.
wouldn't you rather stick with the manager and play it out and see how it goes if he gets another transfer window, rather than maybe going for another manager and getting the entire wasting? It's another like a 2 years cycle which is wasted, and then you think you sign another manager, and then it's just a waste of 2 years. Rather
Agreed.
give it one more year to
And
see.
what on this world is assured? Is there anything which is assured? Nothing, right? You
for
always
sure,
say
but we've
there is
seen this
something
happening
higher
for
the risk, higher the reward. The world works in a simple manner, so does the football world. Everyone said it was a risk to hire Zidane. Club, he changed the fate of Real Madrid as a football club in Champions League. Let's put it that way. You have to take a risk if you are moving ahead. And you can only move ahead if you take a risk. If you don't take a risk, how are you moving ahead? Is there any assurance that if Ole gets another window that he will do well? No.
For sure,
The
no,
risk
but
is
I'm just
equivalent to
saying
hire a new manager.
we've
The
seen
risk
this
is
happen
equivalent to
with
hire a new manager, right?
we've seen this happen with 3 managers already, right? Okay, 2 managers,
Yeah.
not average managers. These are world-class managers. So and we're seeing it happen again with Oli. We're seeing the performances dip in his next season. So isn't it better to sort of give him one more transfer window, see where it plays out,
No.
and
No, but if
maybe
you
then
think about it,
No.
they still won something.
Sid, like I said, right? The
No
risk is
matter what,
equal,
they
right? Sid,
still won something.
the risk is equal, right? Friend, you get my point, right? The risk is equal.
Yeah.
I have to put it that way. The risk is equal. You give him one more window and he does not perform or performs, or you hire a new manager and he performs immediately. The risk is equal, 50-50. The choice is yours, what you're taking. I would choose the second one because I am sick and tired of not competing for a title. I am sorry, I'm a United fan since the old days, and my definition of United successful is not top four.
Definitely.
I'm sorry, and I have said that and I think Sid might have me saying that, and I've said that I don't rate this top four competition and all that. It's good to say for namesake, but I want United to start winning trophies.
Yeah, I agree with this. I think Vansh had something to say. He was constantly saying that he had something to say. Vansh.
Yeah.
You said there is no template, there is no growth that you are seeing.
Yeah.
If you see with United individually, Rashford at left wing at 23 years of age, Greenwood at 18 is already over exceeding his expectations. If Ole gets Amad Diallo in, if he is trained well in the academy, in 3 years' time we are all hitting prime at 21, 21, and 25 respectively.
I think you used the word if, right? I think you used the word if. That's the word for me. If.
But
What if
do you think
so
Bruno
once
is
what
gonna
if
stay?
Amad Diallo comes and he flops? if
If
he
you look at
flops,
Amad
then
Diallo's training footage
what
from
if
Atlanta,
Greenwood promise does not do well? What if all the promise Greenwood shows? All is an if, right? When Harry Kane broke into the scene, I remember reading it in English media, one season wonder. We've seen in the last 7 years what Harry Kane is doing. It's all an if. It's all a case of ifs and buts. And football does not work on ifs and buts. Football works on facts. Football works on scenarios. Football works on real-time basis. What is the reality? Manchester United bottled the Champions League. What is the reality? We are a one-man team. What is the reality? We are not good enough at the European level. Okay. Are you good enough at the Premier League? No. Can this Manchester United team win without penalties? No. That's sad fact, but it is a fact. We need penalties to start our scoring run. We have made comebacks. How many games in this season have we taken lead? Vansh, do you remember?
I think West Brom. West
Two.
Brom. In the
West
league, only
Brom,
West Brom, I think.
West Brom and Spurs. We took the lead against Spurs, and then we
Yeah,
saw what
sorry.
happened to us. Right?
but that
It,
was all
there,
a wrong red card decision for Martial. It was not at all a red card.
so what do you? I mean, a wrong red card. In hindsight, you can sit here and talk. Like you and me can
How
But
is
we
that
were
see the
already
replays.
two down by that time, I think.
Say,
We
let's
already had
forget.
conceded
Let's
2 goals
forget.
by then.
Okay, fine. Let's forget the Spurs game. Take outlier. What happened in the season opener? It's a season opener. It's one of the biggest games for any goddamn club on planet Earth. What happened? We had our back four was screwed. If I'm allowed to use the word, we were screwed. Lindelof did not clear. Van Bissaka did not clear. Everyone knew what Manchester United, and people can say we didn't get good break, we didn't train enough, we were the entire window was all about Jadon Sancho, we didn't get etc etc. But you look at what we are as a club right now, and Akshit said in the start, how many times have you seen a team bottle a 14-point lead and then you go into the last game of the season, virtually a former Red Johnny Evans decide to play
Yeah.
his own part and you qualify for the Champions League? Were we good enough to make it to top four last season? No, we weren't. And that's the truth. We made it. Obviously, we played well consistently post the lockdown and all. But you don't see teams giving out 14 point, 12 point, not 14 is wrong, 14, 12 point lead. Leicester could do that. Were we good enough to go to Champions League? Of course not. And we were put up in a difficult group on top of it.
We can see that the team is not starting well. As we were talking about, the only time I think we've gone ahead in this season in the league was against Spurs and West Brom. So continuously, we've been starting poorly this whole season. It's clearly evident that something is not right in the defense. And if you know, as you mentioned, that the defense keeps on making mistakes, the players keep on making mistakes, but he still keeps on picking the same players, even though they're making those mistakes. Lindelof and Maguire, the whole world knows they don't work as a partnership. The whole world knows that, and we end up playing two defensive midfielders so that we can cover their mistakes.
Hmm.
So I think that is where this whole balance of the team is getting disturbed, because we're playing these two very defensive minded midfielders, and that's where the whole thing is going for a toss. If and as before we were talking about this attack, the fast paced center back, right? If we do have that, we can play a little higher up the pitch in terms of when we attack. So I think that gives us more impetus to go and to go and break down teams. But coming to Ole, yeah. So the thing was, what I was saying is, he still keeps on like you can see that they are making mistakes, but he keeps on picking the same players no matter what, and that I feel is his biggest mistake. Like
Yeah, but
he
Akshit,
still keeps on
uh,
repeating his mistakes. He can't learn
uh,
from his mistakes,
So
and that is where he's going wrong for him.
yeah, I understand your point, but our our other centre backs are Bai, uh, Tuanzebe,
Wanzebi, who
Phil Jones. Who you
what
want to play?
Rojo.
Swansea
what
had a
option?
good game.
Rojo,
Why you want
exactly. Yeah, we forgot he's at the club. So this is coming back to, I think Prashant spoke about the
Yeah,
Palace game which we started. Okay, I
Hmm.
think for the first 3 games of the season, I think till the Spurs game, I think
Hmm.
our only signing was Van der Beek. Okay, the rest came in after that. So when you have a mastermind like Mourinho, okay, you're basically this is where I think Ole has been treated unfairly, is when this board has not given him the players he needs. Okay, there have been no investments into this club, into his squad. Okay, so basically he's gone back to playing the same team he played at the back end of last season. Okay, and he got figured out again. Okay, any manager, you have Mourinho. Okay, I'm just going to take Mourinho's example because that 6-1 defeat was hammering. Okay, we basically had only Van de Beek as a new addition to the squad, right? Who was anyone else? So we basically went with the same squad that played with against in that 1-1 draw after restart. Okay,
Restart.
now Mourinho was obviously going to figure it out, and I think this is where this has happened with Mourinho, and this has happened with Van Gaal at United. Okay, third season they do well in their second season, and they are just not back, right?
Yeah,
And
and
then Ole was forced, he was absolutely forced to go back to playing that same 11. Okay, and obviously he was going to get figured out.
So,
adding to that point, Oli, he wanted Bruno since a year, and he got in Bruno, and we've seen the impact he's had. We know Oli wanted Haaland, he wanted Upamecano, he didn't get them, and
Bellingham, Grealish, Sancho.
yeah, I mean, I'm not even going to go to Sancho because it's just embarrassing to talk about it. But so I mean, I'm sure he knows that Lindelof and Maguire don't work together, but he doesn't have an option. And if he was given the opportunity to get Upamecano, he would have thrown Maguire or Lindelof out of the club far, far away, and he would have played Upamecano straight up. But he's not got the chance. He's not got the backing. So that is where I feel he's a little unfairly judged because he doesn't have the squad that he would have liked. And I'm not saying that your that is a manager's job to get the best out of the players that you do have. But it works only to some limit. I feel Maguire and Lindelof, they've been playing together since last season, and that's what he said. Like we've had only Van de Beek as one squad addition, and that too he's a squad player. He's not a first team starter.
Yes, because Ole has targeted Thiago Alcantara, he has targeted Dayot Upamecano. Imagine getting those two players instead of Van de Beek. We can play one lone DM. He can guard all of the defense, and we have one extra player in midfield, Paul Pogba, playing as a free role, the one he preferably suits, the one which preferably suits him. Now, if we're playing a 4-1-4-1, if we have Upamecano, if we have Maguire and Upamecano to cover for Maguire's mistakes, we have Thiago Alcantara sitting right in front of both of them. We don't need another DM. We are wasting one player. We are wasting one attacking medium which we can use in the shape of Pogba to go in front. If Pogba sits in front of Alcantara, had we gotten him, Bruno Fernandes has complete freedom to go around the penalty area. Something he did not do in the Wolves game at home last season. Last season, his first game for us, Wolves, he was practically playing RDM to LDM. That was because there was no assured DM behind to cover for him. He kept taking long shots. We drew the match.
I would
Secondly, if Ole was looking for Sancho, now see, Champions League is 160 million pounds of money. United had 130 pounds of investment in in 2019's summer window. That is Glazers practically making money off of them. Had there been even 50 pounds of investment per year from their side, we would have had Sancho, we would have had Thiago Alcantara, we would have had Dayot Upamecano. Those three, if you put them into the current team, they transform them completely. It is a title challenging team right now.
with Martial as a striker, you win the Premier League.
No,
Nice.
Greenwood as a striker.
Greenwood as a striker. Okay.
Greenwood last year got his experience of playing every second game. I think he can be eased back into playing every single game week in, week out.
See, on the point of Greenwood, I would say this, that he's a special player. He's the best attack. He's the best finisher at our club, and all that. But he still is not mature enough to lead a line for Manchester United. He's still pretty young to lead the line for a club and lead us to a title. That's the thing about Greenwood. He's good. He will be good. But we often forget that he's only 19. You can't expect him to lead a club like Manchester United
to a title challenge.
He's
That is
played
not. Yeah,
27
he'll there.
minutes of
He'll
Premier
be there.
League
He'll
football as
contribute to it, but you
striker.
can't expect him to be the main guy right now.
He has played a total of 27 minutes of Premier League football in his life as striker. He has got 1 goal in that 27 minutes.
Yeah,
I'm
but
just going to give you that 1 point.
no, but
John O'Shea played for 6 minutes as a striker and he scored a derby winning goal. Does not make him a great player.
yeah,
Stats are good. I'm not denying it. I'm not going to say
Greenwood
that.
playing out of position gets us 19 goals a season. If he gets
Just a
put
minute.
as a number 9, he gets
see
way more.
the thing about being
Okay,
a number 9
now
is
let
not
me
only
break it
about
down.
scoring, right? It is also about
Yeah.
maintaining the line, pressing the opponents, making the right runs. That comes with experience that you can't have learn at the age of 90. What the skill he has, the finishing he has, that is his talent. That comes at a young age. But the other thing aspects of a striker are not only finishing; they are all about making those runs, being in the right position. That comes with experience, that's not a talent.
So, Vansh, let me break down for you, right? I think it's a known fact that Glazers are sucking the money out of United. I don't think anyone in the world does not know it. The Glazers out, at least I have been part of the Glazers out moment for at least last 10 years now. I have cancelled my United membership. I don't wear any official merchandise anymore. The one jersey which I own is just a gift which I've got. I don't buy any merchandise. I know what Glazers out is, and I know the kind of investment model you're talking of. All that is right. But if I keep that as a benchmark, right, then this club is doomed. There is nothing else you can talk about in this club because everyone knows it. Everyone knows this is a pit where managers will come, owners will not support. They want to make money. That's not the point of discussion here. And the players who you mentioned, Upamecano, Alcantara, Haaland, most of them, let's say, are linked to United for whatever reasons. Ole wanted them, they wanted to come to United, etc., etc. Even if you get all that, I don't think United are a title-winning team in Premier League. I still don't think so. You
Not
are
on their
talking
own.
of you're talking of a Guardiola City. You're talking of a Liverpool managed by Jurgen Klopp. Look at the balance in that team. Look at the squad what they have. It's not just the playing 11 which wins you the Premier League. It's the entire 15 or 30 registered players who win you that. Do we have that? God forbid if Upamecano is injured, who comes back in again? The same Phil Jones, Bailly, Rojo, Lindelof, Maguire, all those names who you mentioned. You cannot have a Virgil van Dijk kind of season where you're not injured for 2 years and suddenly you're injured. That's one. Second part is talking about Greenwood at number 9. Okay, I completely agree with you that out of position Greenwood can give me 19 goals. If I put him as a striker, he'll give me 30 goals. Agreed. Completely buy your point. I've been saying this for a long time that he needs to play at number 9, etc., etc., etc. But do you still think he will be good enough for Manchester United to win the Premier League? No.
Alongside Cavani, yes.
Alongside Cavani, no. You are saying this right now because Cavani has scored 3 goals back. Just a minute. You're saying this. Probably you're saying this right now because Cavani has scored 3 goals. Half the world was against Edinson Cavani when we signed him because he's an 8-month late signing. He's 33 years old. He cannot run. What will he do? Anthony Martial scored 17 or 20 goals last season. He should be played as number 9. Why did we sign a striker? Cavani right now makes a difference. That's why we are saying. Alex Telles should be playing ahead of Shaw. Alex Telles should be played ahead of Shaw. Alex Telles should be played ahead of Shaw. Shaw cannot cross. When Alex Telles starts playing, यार वो तो defend ही नहीं करता है. वो तो यार look Shaw. No, I'm just giving an example. Our fan base, for example, can have multiple opinions in a matter of 8 games in a season. My point here, what I'm trying to tell you is, all these opinions, or at least all these opinions, should have a base. Let's say we have a base of criticizing our centre backs right now because they're not good enough. Right?
Ashant,
So,
I want to ask you,
Sorry.
I think we can end with this. If we get in Nagelsmann or we get in I forgot the Ajax manager's name. If we get
Erik
him
ten Hag.
now, do you think with this squad we will be much better than we are with?
Of course not. But what we can expect from both of them is a template of playing football. So, for example, you know the Sir Alex Ferguson way. What is it called as in tactical manners? 4-4-2. 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1. 3 formations where we alter most of the times during Sir Alex Ferguson. Under Ole, how many formations have we played? Multiple. Now the players also don't know what formation they are playing. Yesterday, 5 at the back, they didn't know who's going to mark who. Whose fault is it? Is it the player's fault? Of course not, right? When the team lineup is put, the players would be told their jobs. Do you think the players have to talk on the pitch against each other saying, "Yeah, तू है ना, तू एक काम कर, सबित्जो को मार्क कर पिच में. They don't play like us in turf, right? They play a professional sport, right? So obviously the tactics has to go behind. Now, having said all that, I'm not going to blame Ole Gunnar Solskjaer solely on tactics. I know he was not good tactically. Forget it. He's a great man manager. He has done his job at this club, which is to give a steady base. After Mourinho has left, the club was in doldrums. No one had the confidence in this unit called as Manchester United. He's got back a good feeling about this club. Have you seen that Ranbir Kapoor movie where he said, "जब time हो निकल जाना चाहिए, नहीं तो गिले शिकवे रह जाते हैं." It's in a similar role, in a similar mold right now. Good enough job done. Appreciated it. We are thankful, but it's time to kick on and kick up and forward, not a kick below.
Let me make a point here. If we get another manager, Mourinho, 3-time Champions League winner, I think. Van Gaal won it with Ajax. Now, if you bring in an Eric Ten Hag or a Julian Nagelsmann, right now Eric Ten Hag is proving himself in a one-team league. Nagelsmann is proving to be not winning leagues. He has not proven himself yet. Exactly. So now, if you keep Ole for 4 years, you have a whole system of players who are coming up to reach their prime in those 4 years. The same players who are not performing consistently right now, they will be better right then. We will have Gardner at DM. We will have Van de Beek at AM. We will have Hannibal Majabri at AM. That is a sorted midfield. We have a sorted attack. We have a sorted defense in 4 years.
On paper, right? Sorted on paper. We haven't seen them play in, regular first team. They are on loan right now. There are a lot of players who do well in youth system. Danny Welbeck was a class youth product. He was supposed to be the next big thing in world football. What happened? Danny Welbeck does not even play for Watford anymore.
Adnan,
I don't even want to talk about the list of names what we have. Once that's a different story altogether. I don't want to get into that sort of thing when they will come in prime. So for them to come in prime, it's 4 years. So which means 4 years of more mediocrity for Manchester United, which will be a decade and a half of not winning it.
System of recruitment with the other managers, there was turning Man United into Inter Miami. 34 plus players, 30 plus players, bring them in, make them run for their life. They are dead the next year.
But didn't it give your club the best possible finish after Sir Alex Ferguson? It gave you it. He signed Romelu Lukaku. He gave you a template of signings as well. He gave a preference of signing. He said, "I want long players, physically well-built players. Age is secondary because my football is not all about running. My football is all about getting me one chance in a game. My striker will finish the game." What are Spurs doing right now? Do they attack exorbitantly? Of course not. They wait and they so-call the pressure. They create 2 chances in a game, 2 clinical chances, bury it, 3 points. It does not matter if you create 100 chances and you score 0 goals. It matters if you create 1 chance, you finish 1, you get 3 points. That's one. Before I give my last point of it, Julian Nagelsmann will never win the league in a league which is dominated by Bayern Munich. Let's face it. There is no team on planet Earth. There is no team on planet Earth who is going to defeat this current Bayern Munich team not because of their the peak and all that. They are just too good. You can't get a team of that magnitude all the time. You had a Pep's Barcelona kind of a team, right? That's one. Eric Ten Hag is definitely proving in one league. I thought Jose Mourinho did that in a league much below that, right? In Porto, did that. Alex Ferguson proved himself in only one league in Scottish Premier League. He didn't go around the world to manage.
I said one team league.
Yeah. One team league. Yeah. So Jose Mourinho managed one team in a league. Porto. By then, Sporting were not big. Sporting had a lot of issues back then. Okay. He didn't even have a good CV to manage Porto. Aberdeen, when they were managing, when Alex Ferguson was at Aberdeen, Rangers and Celtic were good. Okay, so Alex Ferguson was still in a more competitive manner. And if you really think that Eredivisie is just a one-team league because of Ajax's name more prominent in Champions League football, it's not the case. Eredivisie is much more competitive. The fact of the matter is that, Ajax as a team have got a big recruitment policy. They are a football team run properly. Up from the owners, from the technical directors, to the team, to the staff, to the coach, to the players. I don't want to get Ajax in talk when you're talking about Manchester United because they're two different entities. Look at how Ajax deals with transfer business, right? Van der Sar, of all the relations, etc., dealt with in the most professional manner. We cleared Van de Beek deal in 3 days flat. 72 hours, we had the deal wrapped up. because they have a system in place. We don't have a system, all that sort, done, dusted. But my parting comment on this would be, if you keep Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a little bit more, he's done great things at this club. He climbed difficult mountains. We are pretty thankful for it. Last night was not so good time. Things didn't go out as planned. But if we keep him long, it will reach to a point where we can't swallow nor can we spit. Then we'll be stuck. I don't want a decade and a half of mediocrity at a club like Manchester United, because for all my teenage life and my childhood, I have been mocking Liverpool fans saying that it took you 30 goddamn years to win a league. I don't want the same fate to happen to Manchester United.
Very well said. Very well said. Okay, guys, I'm just going to ask each one of you all for your closing statements of how we are going to proceed, how the club should proceed from here. I'm going to start with Vansh. Vansh, how do you think Ole should do if he is to continue as Man United manager?
I think I can bear with 3 years of mediocrity to let the players develop in our current squad. In those 3 years, I think we can develop a team that can challenge for a title. Keeping him. Otherwise, if we circulate managers, there's one Europa League, one FA Cup, one League Cup in every 7 years. That is not what I want.
Okay. Priyan.
I think I wouldn't take 3 years of mediocrity, like no chance. But I think 2 more transfer windows, and he should be allowed to try to set up a team that he prefers, and maybe after that we can move on.
Akshit.
What I would like to say is, we currently have one of the best squads we've had since Ferguson left. I would say this is one of the most balanced and best squads in terms of talent, ability, age-wise, everything. And this squad is going to reach a peak in the next couple of years. And if we don't win something, or if we don't if we are not competing, the likes of Bruno Fernandes and all those people are going to leave as and go, no matter what. So we need someone who's going to make us competitive. We need someone who's going to make us win titles.
And finally, Prashant.
My parting comments would be similar to what Akshit said. The players are going to enter the peak. They would want to win trophies. There's a big attraction to Manchester United always. There will always be, irrespective of who's managing this club. The attraction will never go. But the intent to join this club will diminish if you don't win something very quick. And that something will not be a FA Cup or a League Cup or a Europa League. They would want to join a club who's synonymous with winning. And to win, you need someone who knows what it takes to win, who has won it. And for that, we need to look for a new man sooner or later. Sooner the better. So that's what I would like to end my comments with.
Okay, guys, I personally had an amazing time with you guys. I hope everyone watching this video had an amazing time. Comment down what you think. Should Ole Gunnar Solskjaer continue to be Man United manager, or is it time for us to move on? I am Sid. You're watching United Star. We've got Vansh, Preyan, Prashant, and Akshit with us. And we will see you soon. Please like, share, and comment on this video.